Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
It's one mic. It's one mic.
Give me a moment, would you, friend? I've never been on trial for my thoughts before.
Welcome to the Only One Mic podcast. I'm your host, Carl Gerard, flying solo today. I wanted to just jump on and bring to light something that just came into the news just recently. It's about 10-year-old Nyla Anderson out of Chester, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, Nyla died in her bedroom on December 12th while trying the Blackout Challenge, which is a popular but dangerous online trend that challenges kids to hold their breath until they pass out. Now, the thing with that is that we see these trends popping up on all these social media platforms, whether it be slap the teacher, shoot up the school, crate challenges. These things are deadly. And, I wanted to pose the question, should the social media corporations be held liable for the things that is causing harm and death amongst these children? Right now, I'm going to play a clip from you from 6 ABC News. And this is just to bring you up to speed on the case of Nyla passing away from this Blackout Challenge. Please take a listen.
A warning born from a Delaware County family's pain.
They just lost their 10-year-old daughter after she took part in a dangerous challenge she saw on a popular social media app.
Alicia Vittorelli live with us now with more on what this grieving mother wants other parents to know about this. Alicia?
Well, it is almost impossible to fathom what this family from Chester is enduring. This is the latest child death to be linked to a social media dare dubbed the Blackout Challenge. This is where you hold your breath until you pass out. Here's what this young victim's mother wants you to know. It happened to her good, smart kid, and it happened under her own roof while the family was at home.
She was a butterfly. She was everything. She was a happy child.
10-year-old Nyla Anderson is described as fun and bright. She spoke 3 languages. Like most tweens, she was on social media and participated in the recently popular, viral, and extremely dangerous Blackout Challenge.
Challenge to see sort of how long almost you can be breathless or, hold your breath in but it can result in a strangulation.
Doctors say Nyla was at home when she tried the trend.
She happened to be in her own bedroom of her house with her family at home, but no one was in the bedroom with her when this happened, so there was no one there to save her.
Nyla's family is in a state of shock. They rushed her to Nemours Children's Hospital, but she didn't make it.
I'm so hurt. It's a pain that don't go away. It sits in your stomach, and it sits at the top of your throat, and I'm so hurt.
Medical authorities say the lack of oxygen can lead to cardiac arrest and other medical dangers.
Significant organ damage, including brain damage, which really is one of the most vulnerable organs to lack of oxygen and even deaths.
Nyla's mom wants parents to pay attention.
Make sure you checking your kids' phones. Just pay attention because you never know what you might find in their phones or the things they try that you think 10-year-olds wouldn't try. They're trying because they're kids and they don't know no better.
This is just heartbreaking. Of course, the major social media outlets have all said that they have protection in place for youngsters, but doctors say the best way to start a conversation with your child is simply to ask them, what are you watching on social media, on YouTube, on your phone? All of us here have small children, so this is a warning for parents. It starts young.
Yeah, it's a vital question.
So these are things that we have to look at. And I know they claim that TikTok has safety measures in place. And according to their website, it says that TikTok works with online safety experts, including our content advisory councils, non-governmental organizations, and industry associations around the world as we strive to build a safe platform. Hearing from this diverse set of voices is valuable for TikTok when developing products, policies, and processes that serve the evolving needs of our growing community. Now you're hearing the The voices are telling you that this stuff is dangerous, that these things cause disruption, these things cause death. And I would like to know, I would like to know from you, the public, what do you think about this? Do you think that if these safety measures are put into place as they claim that they are, and yet these things still happen, do you believe that these companies and these corporations, these billionaires and CEOs, should be the ones that are held liable for this? Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure in any court of law, some lawyer is going to say, well, in this particular case, I'll use as an example, well, she took it upon herself to do it. But then in the same token, we have to understand that a lot of your audience, the TikToks and the Instagrams and all, a lot of your audience are younger kids. A vast majority are younger kids. YouTube as well. A lot of the vast majority are younger kids, and we can always go to the whole study shows that their brains aren't fully developed and so on and so on. Knowing this, should there be extra safety measures involved in certain things like parental guidance, setting up some type of parameter where kids cannot access this stuff? Even in the schools, these kids all have computers and everything. And YouTube, as an example, is not regulated. So kids can pull up anything. Google, not regulated. Kids can pull up anything and they can watch these things and they emulate the things that they see. We all know that kids emulate, in most cases, things that they see. And unfortunately, in a case like Nyla, it results in death. And these are the things that we know about. These are the things that's being reported, that's being brought to the forefront. And just a personal, opinion on it is that I think that if more people brought these things to the forefront, it would actually force these companies to kind of rethink what they're putting out there for public consumption, especially geared towards the youth. No well-meaning thinking adult is going to actually hold their breath until they pass out. So when you put these things out, you got to take in consideration who's actually watching this stuff, who's actually going to act out these particular challenges. This isn't something like the ice bucket challenge, you're doing it for ALS or something like that. This is something that people are actually posting up. And my challenge, if I can, to these particular corporations, the TikToks, the Instagrams, the Facebooks and all that, is that can you actually trace back where these things are coming from? If you have these certain safety measures in place, is there a way to trace the originators of these challenges to shut these accounts down? Now, the reason why I say that is if you're on any of these platforms and you say something that goes against the grain socially or politically, the first thing they'll do is they'll shut the account down. If I play a clip from a movie that's playing right now and comment on it, they'll shut the account down because you're in violation of whatever safety measure or whatever, whatever law that they have that they set up basically to say that, you can't do this or you can't say that. But yet you have these challenges on these social media platforms. You also have where people are actually committing suicide on these platforms, robberies, people getting jumped. You got all type of things that's posted on these platforms. And those things aren't regulated. Nobody shuts that account down. Even if it's the accounts that are sharing this information about these challenges, should those accounts be shut down? Should those things be done in order to prevent stuff like this from happening? This woman is burying her baby at 10 years old. And it wasn't because of a disease or an accident or anything, that you would probably associate with it. This was just, an impressionable mind that saw something that she shouldn't have acted out, but yet and still it was available for her to act it out. It was available for her to access it and act it out. And this is the challenge that I have for social media. And I mean, I personally would love to have anyone who works in these platforms or who is more savvy in this area. Like I say all the time, I defer to people who know more than me in certain areas to come on the show and let's talk about this. because this is something that needs to be, made aware of so that we don't have another Nyla Anderson, or we don't have to shut down a school because people are threatening that particular school or threatening schools in general, because that was a nationwide thing that happened. That teachers, adults, or anybody, elders, shouldn't have to be subject to some challenge where, you're beating up an elderly person, or you're slapping a teacher, or, you're doing something that's going to cause harm to a person, all in the name of a challenge. So we have to kind of look at all of these things. And Nyla's mom was right. We do have to monitor what's on our kids' phones, or ask them, what is it that they're looking at? And let's be honest, those of us that are parents, I myself am a parent, kids are not going to always be forthright in regards to what they're looking at, or what they're seeing, or, what they're exposed to. Very few are going to actually be forthright with you and tell you what's going on. So we can take the phones and we can look at it and we can have the conversations. But truthfully speaking, we're not going to be over their shoulder 24 hours a day. And the influences out there are the influences that's out there. We just got to, as parents, put that seed in them to not follow every silly trend and challenge and things that come before them. But, in this regard, I ask you, the public, please, to pray for this family, pray for any family that's going through similar situations like this. The social media is, something that these kids are born into. This generation is born into this stuff. And so they're going to lean on it more for their entertainment. They're born into it. So I just ask you to please keep them in your prayers and become a voice out there against these things. I mean, we all use social media for whatever we use it for. But, these kids are dying. Lives are getting disrupted by this stuff like this. And I think it's something that honestly needs to be brought more to the forefront. So with that said, this is going to be a very short one mic today. I just wanted to bring that out, ask, for prayers for the family and all. And just to, if monitor your kids, folks. Those of you that have children, monitor what they're watching, have these conversations with them. Let them know that this is not okay. Also, be a voice, for the voiceless, with these social media corporations, to let them know that this is not okay. We can't keep putting this stuff up here and it's going unregulated. We have to do something about it. So with that being said, I thank you for taking time to listen to me. And I want you to please contact me. Let's talk about this particular subject, or any subject for that matter. I can be found on Instagram and Twitter at The Only One Mike P1, and Facebook and LinkedIn at The Only One Mike Podcast. And also hit me up on the email at theonlyonemike00@gmail.com. Also, you can download the show on any platform that you get your podcasts on. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I tell you to please speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, because they too have their story to tell. Once again, thank you for making time, and we hope you take something away from this. Please keep the Anderson family in your prayers. The Only One Mike, I'll show myself out. Peace.